Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing, why is my ex ignoring me? I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details, www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing, why is my ex ignoring me? If you have gone through a breakup and want to try to get your ex back, then there is a good chance that you may have texted your ex at some stage and not received a reply. This will then make you wonder why your ex is ignoring you. Now, of course, this question can come from various perspectives, and hence in today's podcast, I'm going to discuss 3 different angles of the question, why is my ex ignoring me? So let's get straight into this, and number 1 is if you're a dumper. So if you're a dumpee, please keep listening as I will discuss your perspective shortly. But for now, we are discussing the dumper, and if you have changed your mind about the breakup, it can be very confusing to text your ex and have no response. It's important to understand that your dumpee was likely very hurt after the breakup, and their thoughts regarding you right now are unknown. Their mindset will need to stabilise before they can make the decision regarding their next move and whether or not they want to reply to you. Hence, your ex is ignoring you because they feel it's for the best. This doesn't necessarily mean that they won't reply in the future, but this certainly can't be guaranteed. A dumpee will need to compose their thoughts and decide if they feel responding to their dumper is right for them at that moment in their life. If it doesn't feel right, then they won't do it. As I've said, this doesn't necessarily mean that they won't reply later into the future. So when a dumpee receives a message from their ex, the dumper, it can often feel very confusing. It can feel like you don't understand what perspective the dumper is coming from. Are they just trying to look out for you? Are they wanting to be platonic friends? Do they want to reconnect into a relationship? Are they trying to keep tabs on you for some unbeknown reason, or do they want you for their own purpose? You as a dumpee do not understand, you don't know, and hence if you're a dumper and you have changed your mind and want to get your ex back, you need to make sure that you send the right text. You need to enable your ex for time and space after you send this message to see how they feel and whether they want to speak with you again. Now, I'm not going to go into today's podcast about what exactly you should be typing, because of course this will depend on yourself, the relationship, the breakup, the aftermath, and all of your different perspectives you might have come from. But I have discussed in other podcasts what I suggest most dumpers do if they want to try to get their ex back. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check out my content on the perspective which you are coming from. But for now, we are just discussing the question about why is my ex ignoring me, and hence we have to say, if you're a dumper and you send the message out there, your ex, the dumpee, hasn't replied because they don't feel comfortable doing so. They don't feel it's right for them. They possibly also don't even think it's right for you if they was to respond at this time. You as a dumper need to send the right message, and at that stage you need to implement my version of the no contact rule. So the no contact rule is something that lots of people suggest you implement if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back. However, the dumper can also implement the no contact rule at the right time. It has to be the right time, else it won't be effective. Additionally, I suggest that you listen to my version of the no contact rule, because if you go online, you will find many different versions of the rule. And I believe that my version will give you the best possible chance of success, whether you are a dumpee or a dumper. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check out my playlist, The No Contact Rule, that you can find on my YouTube channel. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about why is my ex ignoring me. And point number 2 is if you're a dumpee. So if you're a dumpee, then I suggest that you never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. And hence, if you have sent your ex a message before you've received contact from your dumper, then there is a strong possibility that they will not reply. But why is that? Why is your dumper ignoring you? You have to consider that when you and your dumper was in a relationship, you both felt a high level of romantic emotional attraction for one another. For various potential reasons, this level of attraction dropped in your ex's mind, and when it hit a certain low point, that is when your former partner decided to end the relationship. So at the time of a breakup, your ex, the dumper, felt a very low level of romantic emotional attraction for you. They then ended the relationship, and at that point, they would be focused on living their best life as they envision it. They would imagine at this stage that they want to live their life as a singleton, moving forward in a different direction. If as a dumpee you can understand this perspective, you will start to see that if you was to message your ex, the dumper, they are unlikely to reply, because at this point in time the dumper is not focusing on you and your previous relationship. They are focusing on moving forward with their life, and that is what you need to do as well as a dumpee. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't get your ex back. This doesn't mean that you won't hear from your ex again. But just after the breakup, the dumper is going through what I like to call the single honeymoon period. And at this moment in time, they are very much focused on their own journey. If you try to text your ex after the breakup, they will likely be fully concentrating on themselves and less likely to want to reply to you. Additionally, you have to understand that if somebody ends a relationship, they want that decision to be taken seriously. If they have ended a relationship and everything is settled, everything is clear, and the relationship is over, the last thing a dumper wants to hear is from their dumpee. If a dumpee messages their ex, this can come across as desperate, this can come across as needy, this can come across as jealous, and this can come across as possessive. You do not want to be doing that to your dumper. You don't want your dumper to be seeing you as somebody who is desperate. Being somebody who is desperate is being somebody who is low value. And at the time of the breakup, you became the low value individual and the dumper became the high value individual. That is what happens when a breakup takes place. The only chance you have of reconnecting with your ex is to balance the scales of value and to grow romantic emotional attraction in your ex's mind. Your dumper will not be thinking of you as a high value individual if you beg, if you plead, if you overly reason, if you are desperate. It's low value behavior and it is not attractive. So if you're a dumpee and you've sent your ex a message and you don't understand why they haven't replied, it's because the dumper is likely focusing on their life post-breakup. You should never contact your ex again unless they contact you first, because if and when this happens, this will showcase that the dumper has started to regrow romantic emotional attraction in their mind for the dumpee and that they want to reach out to their ex. So as a dumpee, you need to be moving forward with your life, concentrating on your own life journey, and if and when your ex-dumper contacts you, that is when you know you have an opportunity to regrow the connection and to connect on a deeper level with a stronger foundation than before. If you have reached out to your ex and they don't reply, you certainly should be moving into the mindset of never contacting them again unless they contact you first, because in my belief as a dumpee, this is what you should have done in the first place. So now let's move into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast of why is my ex ignoring me? And point number 3 is if you want to be friends. So you have to understand from whatever angle you are coming from in the situation that two people can only speak with one another if they are feeling similar feelings. Two people who want a platonic friendship can speak, can spend time together, can have that friendship. Two people who have romantic feelings for one another can go in that direction. They can go in the romantic direction, the intimate direction, if both people are feeling the same. But what happens if one person wants to be friends and the other person doesn't? Maybe they want more, maybe they want romance, or possibly they want less, possibly they don't want anything to do with their former partner. What we have to see here, what we have to understand, that if one person wants platonic friendship and the other person doesn't, this is unlikely to work. So if you have come across to your ex from a certain angle, a certain perspective, a certain position, and your ex doesn't feel the same way, there is a possibility that they might not reply. There is a possibility that they might ignore you. Now, whether or not this is the right thing to do, whether or not this is rude, that is for a different discussion. But what I have to say is that if two people are not coming from the same angle, this is unlikely to work long term. One person is likely to feel very hurt, if not both, as time progresses. So for example, if one person wants platonic friendship and the other person wants romance, and if they try to bungle their way through life as some type of friendship, then eventually the person who sees their former partner as a platonic friend will likely start dating again, meeting new people, and probably speaking to their former partner as if they would be happy for them, as if they might say, look, do you want to spend some time with me and my new date? Do you want to hear about my love life? All of those type of things. Now, if the other partner, the other former partner feels romantic feelings still for their former relationship, then this is something which is going to hurt them. If person A wants platonic friendship and person B wants romance, then when person A says, look, person B, I've met somebody new, do you want to spend time with us? Do you want to hear the stories about our life? Then person B is likely to get very upset because they might be saying it's cool, it's fine, we can still be friends, but deep down they're trying to find that secret way in to get through the friend zone and attract their ex back. But let me tell you, it's very unlikely you can do this from this angle. It's very unlikely that from the perspective of a friend zone, you can get your ex back. And hence, if one person wants friendship, if one person wants romance, there is a very strong possibility that one or both people might begin to ignore each other. This is something which can feel painful, but ultimately is probably less painful than moving through life and having the awkward situation where one person gets their heart broken again. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent Bo, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent Bo got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.